This week we're taking a look at faith in the forces, focusing on service people and families whose beliefs exist alongside and help them to get through the challenges they face. We'll also hear from those who look after the spiritual welfare of the forces. Padres from all the main world religions are now employed by the MOD. In the first of our reports, we examine how faith finds a place on the front line.
I was watching something on the BBC yesterday, and the Major was saying that there's no atheists in the foxhole. He said he found that he was looking to something more when he was out on operations. Seeing guys mature, seeing how they delve into deep questions about, death and life and things like that. And everyone's got enough time to think about it, and you do think about it.
Rich's military gap year took him to Helmand with 2 para. You might think a war zone's hardly the easiest place to fly the flag for your religion. When you live and fight so closely together, not much stays private.
I always had a little prayer before I go out. It's just when your corporal walks past and says, "I hope you included my name in that." And he knows that's what you do. It's one of your little rituals before you go out on the ground or whatever. But some of the things when guys are shaken, I found great strength in my faith. And if it just gave an ounce of, just a bit of pluck to anybody else, then I count that an absolute gain.
Donning their DPM is what men of the military cloth should do to be there for people in all situations. That's why Padre Mike swapped cassock for Kevlar last summer and deployed to Kandahar with 904 Expeditionary Air Wing.
You've got body armour, your field dressing and your morphine and your tourniquet. So you carry on your person a reminder this is not just a normal location.
Do they want to come and talk to you?
Yeah, some do and some don't. It's like everything in life. And that wasn't just Christians. There are people in the military, obviously, of other faiths too. And chaplaincy is there to support all faiths and all religious communities. And so it was quite enriching to be in that place where those sorts of conversations took place.
Seeing the overtly Muslim culture in conflict zones raises questions for some.
Well, Padre, I haven't thought much about my faith before, but being here makes me think about it. Seeing the fact that this is a community where the local people are very religious, are very committed to their faith, makes me wonder about my faith and its legacy in my life.
Perhaps nowhere more than in the war zone are people trying to make sense of the world around them. Fellow reservist Private Joe Whittaker went through P Company with Richard. Joe was killed by an IED last June. His friends in the platoon had to go and retrieve his body. With everyone at such a loss, having hope in something more helped Rich.
He tried to live his life, especially in the more recent days, by what he was reading in the Bible. That was incredibly, almost healing. As much as it can be hard to bear sometimes, the encouragement side of it, the optimism that it gives, the inner peace sometimes that comes from a faith, comes from my faith in Jesus especially. I've found it has been incomparable to anything anyone could have said or done in those worst dark times.